Ever wondered how to be a good beta reader? Today we're going to discuss just that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. On this channel, we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews, and the occasional vlog. And today I'm going to give you guys 8 tips on how to be a good beta reader. If you guys haven't already seen my video on what beta reading is, a beta reader is a reader who reads your work before you send it out into the world as a published book. These are people who are not writers, they are just people who love to read. If you are a writer and you want to know how to get beta readers or what a beta reader's role is, I will post a link to my video above and below this so you guys can check that out. If you are lucky and have been asked to be a beta reader, awesome news guys, you get to read a book before it's published and it is such a good thing to do. Thank you guys so much for reading writers' work. It means the world to everyone and you guys are responsible for getting these books good. Not to put too much pressure on you. That being said, a beta reader's role is just to enjoy the read and write your opinions, write what you want changed, what you like and what you dislike in someone's work. That way they can get as many opinions as possible before they pay to put it out into the world and get actual online reviews, which can be brutal. With that, let's get into my 8 tips on how to be a great beta reader. Number 1, timekeeping. If a writer has asked you to beta read their work, then they're generally in the editing process and they'll have a few other beta readers reading at the same time. They'll give you the book chapter by chapter or so many words by so many words, and they'll have a rough schedule that they need to stick to in order to get their work ready to send on to the major editors that they will pay to edit their work. So they really need you, if you volunteer to be their beta reader, to hand the work in on time. If you don't, then obviously it can push their deadlines back, which could cost the writer money. If for any reason you think you aren't going to be able to meet a deadline, let that writer know as soon as you can. That way they can rejumble things around and try to fit it in. If you feel you can no longer go forward with the beta reading process, also let the writer know. That way they can scratch you off the list if you honestly can't complete the work. Whatever feedback you have given them will still be useful. You don't have to feel guilty as long as you let them know. Number 2, details. Give detailed feedback and explain why you think you feel that way. So if you say, I hate this character, why do you hate that character? Can you show examples? What is it that's made you dislike them? It could be that the writer wants you to hate that character, so they might also need to know why you hate them to make sure they foreshadowed it correctly and you're picking up the right hints. If you just say a blasé sentence such as, this town sucks, it doesn't really help the writer know what you dislike about it, and then you run the risk of that writer either getting rid of the bits you did like instead of the bits you hated, or they could just stop the book altogether and be disheartened. Let them know why you have that opinion. Number 3, give well-rounded feedback. By this I mean don't just say what was bad. We all hate it when we have the red pen marking everything as terrible, but that's only because people generally only mark down what they don't like. Also tell the writer anything which really resonates with you. If there's a character you really love or a description that stuck in your head for days or that you thought was really beautiful, tell them that as well. Don't just tell them what's wrong. This can give the writer encouragement to continue, and it also means they kind of know what you're into, which means when they rewrite or even if they write the next book, they might even have you in mind. Number 4, give opinions. All of the examples I've given so far, to be honest, have been about your opinions, but there are some beta readers who will just correct your grammar, which is all well and good. Knowing the grammar faults is a good thing, but also the writer is going to generally pay someone to check their work line for line and check all of that grammar, as well as also check it themselves. If there's anything blaring in your face, obviously if someone's missed out a full stop or something, you can circle it and tell them it's there. But it's not the only thing they need to know. They're sending their work to a beta reader generally to get feedback on the work as a whole. They're looking for plot holes, character problems, world building issues. They're looking for things that a reader would mostly notice. Grammar is something that anyone will pick up on and that they can pay someone to do. But in terms of the overall story and how you as a reader reacts, that's something that can only be given with opinions. So try to give opinions as well as the grammar. Number 5, follow the rules. I don't mean laws here. I don't mean look at that world building and tell them what that police should be doing or the correct punishment for something. I mean, if the writer has asked you to hand something in by a certain date, hand it in by that date. If they've asked you to fill in a questionnaire at the end of every chapter, fill in that questionnaire. If they've asked you to look for a specific thing in that chapter or story, then again, look for that for them. Although you are a volunteer, you have willingly given your time to this writer, and there's generally an agreement at the beginning where the writer has told you what they expect. Please try to follow the rules of this to help the writer finish the work. Another thing that falls into this is make sure you know how your writer wants to be contacted by you and how they want to contact you. Generally, a writer doesn't want to be having 5 beta readers on Facebook, 10 on Twitter, 5 on Tumblr. They're going to want to put you all in one place, so it's easy for them to keep control of where each beta reader is up to. If your writer has told you, please can we respond on Facebook Messenger, then only use Facebook Messenger to speak to that writer. Even if you know them in person, tell them on the Facebook, not to their face. That way they're going to get all the information and they'll also have it written down, ready for them to refer back to. Number 6. Get ready to learn. If you are a writer, but you're not necessarily right now, but you have managed to get to be a beta reader, awesome. Often if you're a writer, you are turned into a critique partner, who see the book even before a beta reader. But sometimes writers can be beta readers as well. And if you are, be ready to learn by looking at someone else's work and reading through them and looking for the errors as well as what's good. You yourself as a writer will learn other things. So by looking for show versus tell in someone else's work, you might notice it more in your own work. Or by looking at what's really good in someone's, you can possibly take some influence from that and put it in your own work. If you learn that a certain type of sentence works for you or a certain point of view, then you might use that in your next piece of writing or even change the work you're currently working on. Number 7, keep the writer informed. This links back into handing in your edits on time, but if anything does happen in your personal life and you do not feel you can keep up with the schedule, tell the writer. If you think that you want more and you want to read it faster, tell the writer. Just keep the writer informed of anything that's going on so they can make adjustments for you as well as you for them. A good partnership is just being open, and a writer with a beta reader is a friendship involving that writer's baby. They're entrusting you with this work that they've possibly worked on for months, if not years. So treat it as such and just keep them up to date. Nothing is scarier for a writer than a beta reader not sending them edits anymore and not explaining why. A lot of writers will presume this is because you absolutely hate their work and cannot bear to read anymore. And finally, tip number 8, enjoy it. Guys, if you're a beta reader, you're being given someone's work before anyone else gets to see it. There might have been some critique partners, but you guys get the almost finished version of someone's book. You get their book baby. It's such a privilege and honor to be asked to read someone else's work because they are trusting you with something that they have worked so hard on. And it also means that when this book is published, you have had an input in that. It's because of you that this book has been as good as it could have been. So take enjoyment and also privilege in knowing that you were a part of this book being made. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you so much, all of you out there who have agreed to be beta readers for a writer friend, or even a writer that you don't know who's just sent a message out to the world and you've responded and read their baby. We love you. The writing world could not do without you, so thank you so much and keep reading. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see us since I upload, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram or Tumblr. I post general bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!